Hello there. Welcome again to DC Weddings with Jillian. I am your host, Jillian D'Souza with Caribbean Caterers, and always such a pleasure to be here with you. I have a great opportunity for you guys today to be able to take what you think you would need from your DJ to things that you didn't even imagine that your DJ could provide for you. So if you want to take your event from nice, doing well, to over the top, wow, that was a great event. Listen up to Joshua Pelling of Love and Light Entertainment coming up soon. Hello, folks. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This evening, I have with me a great pleasure for you in Joshua Pelling. He is with Love and Light Entertainment. Welcome, Joshua. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
You are very welcome. We have been chatting behind the scenes, and I learned some incredible things about Love and Light Entertainment. Now, folks, let's listen to this. Listen carefully. Now, I know in the catering industry, as I've told you all a lot about before, people are thinking just about the food when they come to a caterer. They're thinking their appetizers, their hors d'oeuvres, the desserts, they're just thinking about food and beverage. But once you start to talk with a caterer, full service, you realize, well, oh my gosh, there's staffing, there's bartenders, there's coat check, there's linen, there's china, there's all this other stuff. There's planning of the room, and there's so much more to which the food probably, albeit important, is almost like a minor portion of all the things that we could do to get you this fabulous event that you see on our websites and you hear people talking about and so on. I have found that Joshua is going to tell us about how he is actually in the really same position where people come to him for music when you think entertainment. So, Joshua, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you hit the nail right on the head. Many of our couples come to us and they think, oh, we just need a DJ, someone to play music. Even every once in a while, you may hear someone say, oh, we were thinking about renting speakers and just playing Spotify. And while music is what we do, and obviously there's so much more to just DJing an event, there is being able to read a room. I just heard that Spotify implemented a new service called an AI DJ. And so it will, through artificial intelligence, put songs together. But one thing that AI cannot do is read a room. It
Yeah.
cannot take a request from a guest who comes up and doesn't know the name of a song, but knows how to hum it. But as DJs, those are things we can do. In addition to that, we also act as MCs. So we are your event host. There's so many other things that people don't realize that their DJ and or MC or a company like Love and Light Entertainment can bring to the table. So really, where do we begin? Obviously, it all starts with the music. Our clients all have access to a client portal. So on the back end, before we even show up, our clients can spend all the time they want building as many playlists as they would like. So we have couples that, and not just couples, corporate events as well, that will build a must playlist, a do not playlist. Often we get things like the chicken dance in there. You can build like a dancing playlist, a dinner music playlist. Just having that customization option really allows us to personalize and inject your theme or your personality into the event. But again, as you alluded to, there are so many things that people don't realize, even beyond that, even beyond the ability to plan your music. As an example, we even have a guest request system. So, Jillian, if you wanted to, you could send this link to people ahead of your event and have them submit song requests ahead of time. So, as
Wow.
an example, sometimes at weddings, we have couples that will give this to their wedding party and they'll say, hey, here's this link. Put in your song requests before our wedding. And, the best man, the maid of honor, or corporate events, sometimes they do as well, allow people to submit song requests ahead of time. And that's just really scratching the surface of all the different things that we can bring to the table. It's, again, as you said, it's easy to just think, many of us don't plan that many events a year. You might hire a DJ 2-3 times max in your entire life. So it's hard to know what all a DJ or an entertainment company such as Love and Light Entertainment can bring to the table.
Fantastic. You said so much in there that I would love to explore because
Sure.
giving your guests the opportunity to select music beforehand brings them into the process, it personalizes it for them. And, we've all heard that's my song when the song, it really is their song when it
Absolutely.
plays at the wedding because made that selection. So that, we always talk here at Caribbean Caterers about the guest experience. And when I say guest, I mean every single one, for the first person that comes to the last person that leaves, not just a few people, but
That's
that
right.
all guests should have this experience. And what's the experience you, client, want your guests to have? And how we serve, how we set up, how we place things, what colors we use, all go into creating that experience for the guests. And this is an extension of that in
And
the
Jillian, I'm sorry to interrupt. I was simply going to say that not all guests are going to feel comfortable coming up to the DJ booth, right? So, number one, the ability to potentially send them a link ahead of the event and have them submit the song requests ahead of time really just makes them feel involved before they even show up.
Yes.
Furthermore, we typically put out signs with a QR code and a phone number that any guest can text their request to from across the room. And we get clients, old, young, really everybody who can text. They can be out on the dance floor grooving and submit their song request right from the dance floor. So again, these are things that some people don't realize that they can add to their event to really, as you say, enhance the guest experience. And I agree with you. It's all about guest experience.
That's what people talk about for years and years. When people tell us that at their 10th anniversary, they want their same menu that they had for their wedding, for their anniversary party, because people are still talking about the food at their wedding. They're
Yes.
not realizing that it's not just the food, it's the experience that we created as they enjoyed that food. So now I happen to know that you have other ways to enhance the guest experience. And so, again, for the audience, I know one of the things putting on events for all the decades that we have, is not, you have to give people some sort of activity, some things that sort of, not whether they're different or not, but things that make them do something other than sit at one table for 4 hours. And so when
Exactly.
you do little activities that people can enjoy, it again makes things more memorable. Somebody who is there that has come as a guest of someone else but doesn't know a lot of other people can do something that they can feel included and not feel like they can't talk with anybody. And so, again, entertainment is in your name.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I happen to know that you have some other things that are proprietary to you that
Yes,
would
ma'am.
blow people's socks off. And I want you to tell our audience how you can take their event from 0 to 100 with a nice, neat little thing that you have created. Tell us all about it.
Real quick. Well, there's actually two that I'd like to take a moment to highlight. Two that I think really hit on those points that you said. It's all about enhancing that guest experience, but also, I tell clients all the time, how do you engage the guests throughout the duration of your event? And obviously, you can do this by injecting a speech, injecting a raffle if it's a corporate event, if it's a wedding, injecting a shoe game or the bouquet toss in between the dancing set. But as you said, people really need more. They need engagement and they really thrive on those things. So, two main ways, one of which many people are familiar with the standard photo booth. We actually
Yes.
have a really unique take on that, which is called our mirror booth. Our mirror booth is unique in the sense that it's a 4.5 foot tall mirror. So when you walk up, it looks like you're just staring in a beautiful mirror. We have a beautiful red carpet we bring out in addition to that. And the screen that the guests see when they walk up to it is completely personalized to the event. So, for example, for our wedding clients, we typically have a couple's photo or perhaps their engagement video if they have one. Or if it's a corporate client, for example, we can have a start screen that is completely customized to their theme. Offline, we were talking briefly about a Roaring 20s event that we did over this past weekend, and everyone seemed to be really impressed with the start screen that was completely Roaring 20s theme and Gatsby esque,
Mm-hmm.
and as well as the animations that the mirror booth goes through, and a few other really unique features about this. In addition to receiving the printout, so most people, you go to a photo booth, you get that print, you take it home, gives you a really great memory, and we can customize the way that looks. But we can also allow guests to type in their phone number, and that picture will instantly go to their phone in an animated version so they could share it on Instagram or social media. And the text message that goes along with that, we can personalize. So if you have a specific message, if you want to send them to a specific website, some of our corporate clients really love to have a survey or some other information. Some of our wedding clients just want to put a really nice thank you message. And lastly, it also goes to an online gallery. So all of your guests can go get their photos there as well. So again, it's engaging in multiple ways, not just at the event, but after the event when they go through and they visit that link and see their photos for another time. So that's one that we really love. And I think is really helps to engage the audience throughout the event, because as you're up to go get a drink, you can have your DJ or MC encourage people to use that. And a lot of people really love that. But I think there's even one that to me I'm really excited about. And you touched on it as well, which is our guestbook phone and hotline. Now, currently in the market, the event space, there are many audio guest books out there. They're great. I've purchased one. It's good. Most people take an old phone, they rip the guts out, they throw a recording device in. It works great. You record your message, cool. We've taken that concept and really built something from the ground up. Literally, I was in the back end of it coding exactly what it does. What this means for the guest experience is prior to the event, the wedding couple, or if it's a corporate event, the corporate client or myself or whomever can record a custom greeting. What this means is when we're at your event, we will bring a phone, and we can use literally any landline phone. We have a beautiful gold phone, we have a white model, we have a black model. There are different color options. Really, any landline phone you find, we can plug up
Like,
and
do
use.
you have a Get Smart shoe phone? I don't know if you remember, Get Smart used to have a shoe.
I do.
Not
It's funny.
those
I
three
did
young
see one
people
of
that
those
were.
online, and I was really tempted to purchase that. But there it is right there, Jillian. Any phone that we find online, if it's available for sale, we can use that phone. In
Mhm.
fact, I'll take it one step further. We can actually use two phones at your event, and we can have them call different numbers. So, for
Mhm.
example, we can have, let's say, a white phone and a black phone. Maybe one is for the bride, one is for the groom. If it's a corporate client, and let's say we have a theme like maybe fire and ice, we can have one phone when you pick it up, have one message, another phone when you pick it up, have a different message, and guests can choose which phone they want to pick up and leave a message on. So there's so many ways that we can use this. Now, what's also cool and unique about our software are a few things. Number one is our service is completely multilingual. So when you pick it up and your guests hear that greeting, if you have guests that maybe speak a different language, we can build in different voice prompts. So, for example, if a guest speaks Spanish, they can say Espanol, or they can press, let's say, the number two, and it'll go through a series of Spanish prompts so that they can fully understand as they leave their message. It also has the ability for other languages as well. Another really unique thing is instead of having to wait until after your event to get your recordings, as soon as they hang up, it's going to email those recordings directly to you. Just super excited about this guestbook phone and hotline. You get both services when you purchase it. And there's just so many cool things that you can do with this. Super ecstatic about this one.
Well, wait. I can see the guest listening is like, what is he talking? What do you mean a hotline? A phone? What, how do I do that? Well,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen, you have one of those old time cradle phones like long ago, and use it just like a phone and leave a message for the bride and groom. So instead of writing in a guest book, you now have an audio guest book, and it's just a cool feature. And there's so much more than what Joshua is saying that you
Yeah,
can
Miss
do.
Jillian, I suppose I got a bit excited and forgot how
You
to actually
did.
explain it. As you said, very simply, what this means is the guestbook phone is any landline phone. And again, we have a beautiful gold option. We also have a beautiful white phone, but literally any landline phone. We can bring it out to your event. We have a beautiful neon sign that says leave a message and some instructions that we post out as well. And it very simply tells your guests pick up the landline phone receiver, listen to the greeting from the host, leave your message, and then hang up to save your
Yeah.
message. But
Yeah.
what's more is the hotline. So that
Mhm.
same number that the guest book phone will call when a guest picks up the phone at your event is the same number that we can give to any of your guests, whether they're able to make it or whether they're not. It's a toll free phone number that anybody can call and leave a message for the guest book hotline. So it's not
Fantastic.
just on site, it's literally anyone. And so, again, I think about I have a couple wedding clients coming up that have family overseas that are unable to attend their wedding. This is a way for them to leave their well wishes. We have corporate clients as well that maybe have sponsors that want to leave some sentiments, but again, maybe aren't in the same state or for whatever reason are unable to attend the actual event. You could really open this up. It just opens up a whole world of possibilities for who can leave those words of encouragement, who can call in and tell a joke, or offer you some marriage advice if you're getting married.
And so these are just some cool activities that you can do to enhance your event, enhance the guest experience, and just take your event to the next level. And it's being provided by your DJ, guys. So your DJ is way more than music. And so here is an opportunity to chat with your DJ, get not only the kind of music that you wanted for your themed event, even, but to get other activities that you can do. So let's go back now, Joshua, and talk about what people are expecting of a DJ. I
Yeah.
heard you talk about an MC. Again, I know from our vast experience with doing these events for so many decades, an MC can take your event again from nice to wow if you have the right dynamic person. Did you want to chat about that for a little bit?
I think you absolutely touched on a very important point, which is again, your MC could be the reason why people remember your event forever or why it's very forgettable, right? It could be unforgettable or it could be very forgettable. So it could be the reason they talk about it or they could talk about it in a good way or in a bad way. And so you really want to make sure that you choose the right DJ and MC. I personally been DJing and MCing for over 11 years now. We've got a team of great DJs and MCs who also have tons of experience, some far more than I. And we've spent a lot of time and energy honing our skills and our craft, training and taking different courses on public speaking and different classes, all sorts of different things just to make sure that the experience all around is unforgettable for the right reasons. And so
Fantastic.
there's a number of ways that we make sure that that goes according to plan. Really, it all starts with your vision. So when a client comes to us, we spend a lot of time planning and preparing and having meetings to make sure that we understand exactly what the vision is. From there, all of our clients get access to that client portal, which I briefly mentioned. And in there are a few forms that we have that asks you some of the details. There's one example in our wedding planner form that a groom recently commended. He wanted a way to honor his grandparents, but he wasn't sure how to do so. So in the planner form, we ask you for your grand entrance to your reception, how would you like to be introduced? We ask, would you like to be introduced just you and your spouse? Or would you like your entire wedding party introduced? Now, if you say, I would like my entire wedding party introduced, we're going to ask, would you also like your parents or your grandparents? Now, if you say yes, there are a number of options for how we can introduce your parents and grandparents. Of course, most people assume that if they're going to introduce their parents or grandparents, that they'll probably do it walking out with the wedding party. But again, I've been doing this 11 years. There are many ways we can do this. And so the groom was really impressed with the other option, which was at their tables. So, as an example, before we introduced that wedding party, we got on the microphone and said something to the effect of, in just a moment, we are going to introduce our wedding party. But before we do, we'd like to take a moment to honor John's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, sitting at table one. Everyone claps. Then we say, we'd like to now take a moment to honor Jane's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, at table three. And so these are just all the different ways that you can, again, enhance that experience and work with your MC or your event host, if it's someone that you choose, to ensure that, number one, you are honoring any VIPs that may be attending, that you also understand thoroughly before the event how each event is going to play out. Also, another very important thing that some people don't consider, pronunciation of names. It
Mm-hmm.
seems so straightforward, but there's a reason why there's a difference in quality of emceeing, for example. So one of the things that all of our DJs and MCs do is we will walk out, let's say it's a wedding. We're going to walk out and make sure the bridal party or wedding party, if you will, is organized in the same order that we already have listed. We're going to introduce ourselves to the wedding party who may not know us. We're also going to inform them this is our last opportunity to get your pronunciation correctly. Typically, by then, we've already gone over that with the couple, but we'll say to the wedding party, we've already gone over the pronunciation once, but this is our last opportunity to get it right. So, first in line, we need Mr. and Mrs. Doe. And if I said it incorrectly, usually they'll correct me. So, just as an Army veteran, it's really all about attention to detail. So you want to have checks
Yep.
and balances at numerous points throughout the event, not just pre-planning checks and balances, but on the day of, you need to have those checks and balances in place.
Oh my goodness, that is so good. Folks, if you take anything away from what Joshua just said, beside the great prowess they have in performing their duties at your event, is planning, planning, planning. Attention to detail and planning. I can't tell you how many little things that people don't think mean much or are much that cause big situations that affect again your guest experience and how you're enjoying your day. One thing that I would add or on the side say that Josh sort of said, this we are not able to do-overs. We have to get it right the first time.
Sorry to interrupt. I've
Uh-huh.
heard it said that every wedding is the Super Bowl, right? There's one
Yes.
opportunity. It's the biggest
Once.
day of people's lives. You
Mhm.
don't get a second chance. You can't introduce
So,
people, have them walk back and try again. First impressions mean
yes.
everything in this industry. So it's very important that not only you plan and prepare multiple times for multiple different outcomes, you have to have a plan A, a plan B, a plan C, but also on the day of, again, those checks and balances to ensure that the plan is going according to plan.
Fantastic, fantastic. So, folks, you heard it here. This is why we have to employ professionals who understand what they're doing and use their experience and expertise to give you that wedding of a lifetime. So, I am going to ask Joshua one last question,
Okay.
and that is, Joshua, I know the value of your company because we work with professionals all the time. So I know even if I just hear somebody talk about their work, I know that that's going to be a great experience. But our brides and grooms listening are looking for the first time, just getting information for the first time, hearing things that they didn't know. If there is one thing you want our brides and grooms to hear from you for Joshua and Love and Light Entertainment, why you should be their choice for DJ and entertainment for their grand event, what would that one or two things be?
Wow,
They're
Miss Jillian,
listening to you.
it's certainly hard to boil it all down into one thing. But
Yeah.
what I would say is just to remember that your wedding is all about you. It's the one time in your life where you can be as selfish as you want to be. And while I don't encourage people to be selfish, I say that to say that every moment of your wedding day should be personalized to how you want it to go. There's a reason why they call it your dream wedding, right? The goal is to have it exactly as you would like to have it. So if that means for you it's a little wacky and whimsical, then that's what you should ask from your vendors. But if for you it's more formal and very straight to the point and very traditional, then that's exactly what you should ask of your vendors. With that being said, you should really be looking for a vendor that gets to know you, that knows your likes, your weaknesses, your wants versus your needs. And you should really ensure that they are willing to work with you to put the pieces in place to make every piece of it custom and personal and engage with your guests in such a way that it reflects positively on you. Whether you're a corporate client that wants to ensure that your brand and your mission is injected into every piece of the entertainment, from the type of music that you play to the events that you go throughout the evening to the announcements that are being made, or whether you're a wedding couple that wants to ensure that you honor certain people with specific songs or with specific announcements or by grand entrances, honoring grandparents at their table, as an example. Whatever that looks like for you, your event or wedding really should be all about you. And I would encourage you to build a vendor team that does just that. At Love and Light Entertainment, people are at the center of everything that we do, and we get to know our clients and we build everything around that. Our relationship building is really the most important thing, which is why at Love and Light Entertainment, we keep office hours available. We have a simple link that anyone can use to schedule a call with us at any time. So we make it easy if we have a couple, even if you're getting married a year away and you just need 5, 10, 30 minutes to talk or vent or whatever that looks like, you can always jump on that link, schedule a call with us, and we'll make sure we're there to listen. So that's really what it's all about. It's about finding those vendors that work with you, that listen. And that's what we pride ourselves on here at Love and Light Entertainment.
Fantastic. And it so aligns with the Caribbean caterers model, the Caribbean caterers way for our clients. It has been an absolute pleasure, Joshua, to chat with you. I am sure we could talk a whole lot more about activities and themes and things that you have done for your client. So maybe we need to do a round two on this at some later date. But
Be
this
great.
was great.
Before we go, one last thing that I have yet to announce to the world that I can break here on Caribbean Caterers.
You heard. Wait, hold on. Let's get a drum roll. You
Okay.
heard it here first. So here we are, Joshua Pelling, Love and Light Entertainment, making a big announcement. Go.
Well, the announcement is that I am, as of last week, officially registered with the Loudoun County to be a permanent civil celebrant throughout the state of Virginia. So not only can I be your DJ, but we can also be a civil celebrant for your wedding ceremony. Now, what this means is I can obviously officiate your wedding, but it also means that as your DJ, if something were to happen and your officiant is late or can't make it for whatever reason, you have a backup. So again, this is the other thing when I talk about attention to detail. It's having a backup plan, a plan A, B, C, a plan D, right? So I'm really excited to share that with you. And yeah, a lot of really exciting things happening here at Love and Light Entertainment.
That's great stuff. Congratulations. And
Thank you.
it's so interesting that you make an announcement that's great for your business, but who benefits? Our listeners. They get the opportunity to have a twofer, backup plans, and so on. So this is really exciting. So congratulations again to Love and
Thank
Light
you.
Entertainment. Thank you. You are welcome. So, folks, we've been talking with Joshua Pelling of Love and Light Entertainment, and we wish you all the best. And we will see you not only in Loudoun County, Northern Virginia, DC, and Maryland as
Yes,
well.
ma'am. The DMV. It's been an absolute honor and a privilege. Thank you so much.
You are very welcome. Thank you for being here. Good to see you. Bye
Thank you.
bye.